Hello, everybody. Once again, it's another year. It's another Six Nations. And once again, I'm talking to Graeme from Sports Forecast. How's it going, man? It's that time of year. Scotland are still in it.
I feel like we have this conversation every year. It's the same every year, isn't it? Yep.
It's a
Scotland
bit
are
of
still
deja
in it.
vu, isn't it?
This is my favourite time. So yeah. No, we haven't lost anything yet. We're still in with a chance. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it gets underway early February. We're going to have a look through some of the numbers from your algorithm, as always. But I mean, how's your gut feeling about it? Are you excited? Are you still in that hope mode, or have you already kind of turned on despair?
No, against my better judgment and against what I promised myself, I'm starting to get excited. I've watched all the squad releases and all the podcasts and everybody chatting about it, and I am firmly in the rising hope category at the moment. Scotland squad looks good. You know, they depth. There's no injuries at the moment. Touch wood, everything. But every people are saying this is a legitimately good squad. They've got some good depth in some key areas. People at the right age, the right experience. Glasgow are going well in the Champions Cup and the URC. It sounds good, doesn't it? But
The right coach?
we, uh, I neither dislike or like Townsend at the moment. I think I feel like I mean, statistically, he's doing very well, and he's not, not been, he's not been terrible. But I would not have said no to a change. Basically, and my thing with Townsend at the moment is I feel like you know what you're getting. He
Yeah.
he's probably feels like he's done all he can do, and feels like I would not be adverse to a change because feels like this. As I said, despite the storylines being great for Scotland, the slight despair and the slight back of the head thought is that it's going to be the same old Six Nations for us. So yeah.
Well, I'm a little bit out of touch because I've been on holiday for much of January, so I missed a bunch of the squad releases. But prior to my leaving, it seemed to be a lot of chat about England being this rising force based on their results from last year. There's question marks about whether Ireland are on the decline and France with their fixtures list. I know they got Ireland at home. Are they potential favourites? Shall we go through some of your? Well, what does the Algo say?
Yeah, well, there you go. The Algo is pretty much on with that, actually. Last year, if you remember, we had a very clear divide into three buckets: France and Ireland at the top, England and Scotland in the middle, Wales and Italy at the bottom. Exactly like you said, England have very much improved over the last year, taking a firm step up to join that top three with France and Ireland. Pretty even chances across the board. Algo has Ireland as marginal favourites for the title, but France are favourites for the Grand Slam. I say favourites at a 13% chance, but they have, and that's just basically down to the way the fixtures lie, basically. Scotland very clearly in that fourth place bucket, overwhelmingly large, 50% chance of finishing fourth in our usual position, with a pretty clear jump down to Italy and Wales in fifth and sixth. So yeah, it's should be exciting. I mean, England taking a step up to join the top two means that reduce the chances of a Grand Slam, basically, because it's quite likely that one or all of them will lose a game to each other. France and England have tricky fixtures going to Murrayfield, so there's a good chance they could lose one or other of them. So there's plenty of jeopardy in there for everybody, which means that it could go down to a Super Saturday. So yeah.
So a bit of a 3-horse race at the moment, but you might have to explain, because I know we talked a little bit before we started, but how does France have the best chance of a Grand Slam and are yet not overall favourites? That seems counterintuitive just if you look at it from kind of like a gut feeling point of view.
It's essentially because it's just very unlikely to be a Grand Slam. So it is most likely to come down to being won by team on 4 wins, got some bonus points here, there, ever. And it's down to the way the fixtures lie. If you look at the fixtures for the individual teams, if we take France and Ireland, for example, France have got Wales away from home, very likely to win that. Italy at home, very likely to win that. So France have got a very, very good chance of getting 2 games. And then the other 3 games, they've got Ireland at home, they've got England at home, they've got Scotland away. Ireland and England, whatever you might say about Ireland at the moment, maybe slightly on the decline, but still a good team. It's going to be a tricky game against France, especially opening weekends. Both teams a bit cold. Who knows what's going to happen, basically. England, the crunch right at the end, is going to be tricky. France travelling to Murrayfield, it's going to be tricky. So France have got 2 absolute bankers, but then 3 matches that they're favourites for. They are favourites for those matches, but it's just a little bit more jeopardy in them. So they're
not
unlikely
slam dunk games, those crunch Ireland and Scotland games. Hey.
So yeah, probably going to end up in 4 wins, 3 or 4 wins, basically. Could come down to that. Whereas if you look at Ireland, potentially, as people say, slightly weaker at the moment, but they do have, they've got the Italy and the Wales games at home, absolute slam dunk games. They've also got the Scotland game at home. And as much as I want to be optimistic about Scotland, our record against Ireland is not great. And that's pretty much a slam dunk too. So Ireland have got 3 games that they're very, very likely to win. And then away to England, away to France. It's going to be tricky for Ireland. Yep, they're not favourites in those games, but they've got a chance of winning them, or at least getting some bonus points out of them. And that's why, so on the balance of probabilities, when you're looking at 3 absolute slam dunks, 2 50-50s versus 2 slam dunks and 3 50-50s, that's why, basically.
That's where Ireland get their edge for the overall title. So it's your guys. It's your guys that are the difference maker. So potentially the banana skin team.
Exactly. Scotland could be the kingmakers, yeah. I guess the sort of the tournament overview way of looking at it, between the top 3, all expected to beat Wales and Italy. So you can kind of, it's a prospective Wales and Italy.
Almost irrelevant.
Almost irrelevant, sorry, to Wales and Italy. The 3 games against each other, all 50-50s. Who knows what's going to happen? If a team wins 2 of those games, they're almost certainly going to win the title. But it's also quite likely that they're all going to beat each other, some combination of them, there and the other. So you can kind of move them off to their side as well. So then it comes down to those 3 games, those teams playing Scotland and France and England. France and England have got to go to Murrayfield. It's going to be tricky. Whereas Ireland have got Scotland at home. Less tricky. So yeah.
So somehow the Scotsman has made every game irrelevant, barring the games against Scotland.
Exactly. I mean, that is. I mean, is that not the way everybody thinks about the Six Nations? Yeah.
Let's have a look at England. What does their fixtures looking like?
I've got to keep Scotland relevant somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. England opening game against Wales. I mean, that's not good reading for Wales, is it? A 2% chance of winning. I mean, admittedly, it's in Twickenham. It's always going to be tricky there. But the disparity in the 2 teams at the moment is pretty stark. So if there's any team to turn up against the English, it's usually the Welsh or the Scottish.
I was thinking that last year, and then Wales got an absolute hammering.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I would be very surprised. And 2%, you can sometimes overturn a 10, 15, 20% chance. That's not beyond the realms of possibility. 2% would be one of the biggest upsets, I think. Be bigger than that Japan beating South Africa one in the World Cup. So yeah, very unlikely. Next up, they go to Murrayfield, as you said, leaning towards England in that one, but obviously pretty much 40-60, 50-50, 4 points in it. Could go either way. Scotland got a good record against England at the moment. We'll be well up for it. So yeah. Ireland at home. I mean, England have got, you can see the Six Nations going one of 2 ways, can't you? They can easily, get through the Wales game. If they beat Scotland, good chance against England. Italy, 4 from 4, suddenly going for the Grand Slam final weekend. Super Saturday, that game will be, the crunch, basically. But then, by the same, it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility to lose to Scotland in Murrayfield. And then suddenly it's, oh God, we've got to beat Ireland at home in order to try and get that second win before, try and get that 3rd win, sorry, if you assume they're going to beat Italy before going to France. So yeah, could be tricky. But then, I don't want to sleep on Italy either. As a Scotsman, I'm very nervous about that first match up. Italy are improving as well, and 14%
They
chance
tend to
against
have a
England.
good game somewhere, eh? Like either against you
Yeah,
guys or against like they'll push the French or somebody like that. They're certainly not a team like I mean as
exactly.
Wales as well. You can't we're kind of pushing them a little bit to irrelevance, but I mean they're still going to be. Yeah, it's a
Oh
game of
yeah.
rugby. It's 80 minutes, so they're still going to be in it. What about your guys' fixtures list? Are you only favourites for 2 of the games?
Scotland, basically, it's absolutely on a knife edge for all of them. Apart from the Ireland one, we got leaning towards Scotland in the Italy game, but 33% chance of
Only
Italy win.
3 point favourites. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
1 in 3 chance. Italy. I mean, we lost to Italy last time out in Rome.
Mm,
And Italy have improved since then. I am not. I would hope that we win, obviously, but I am not confident of a win there. That would be, very big game. First one out of the Six Nations. England at home, 50-50. Look at that. Wales away from home. It's leaning towards us, slightly more confident, but I mean, going to Cardiff as a Scotsman, that is terrifying. So I would be very surprised if it ends up as that much of a score, one-sided scoreline.
right.
France game, we tend to line up well against the French, but
Yeah,
with a
especially at
good
Murrayfield.
performance. Yeah, but we, again on a knife edge, and then finally that Ireland game at the end. This is Scotland's year, basically, for it. I don't like to say this beforehand, but the even years are very good for us, basically, if you want to go on and win the thing, because we
Right.
have 4 games that we can win. Okay, caveat this massively. We can beat Italy away from home. We could beat England at home. We can beat Wales away from home. We could beat France at home. I mean, we're only favourites in a couple of them, but they're all there, 50-50s.
The fact that you've got
All to,
Italy and Wales away and then England and
exactly.
France at home, that does line up well for you guys.
Yeah, but they're all very close. So by the
Mm.
same breath, you're saying we could win all
You could
4.
lose
We
them
could
all.
easily we could lose them all, exactly. And then suddenly we've got to go to Dublin in the final weekend to avoid complete the wooden spoon, a complete whitewash. So that's what's terrifying about this year. It's if there is a year for Scotland to win it, it is this year, because if you flip them round and you do it on the odd years, sure, we've got
Mm.
Italy and Wales at home, and you should absolutely, we should win those ones. But then we've got to go away to France, we've got to go away to England. It's going to be tricky, and then we never beat
Mm.
Ireland anywhere, so that game's irrelevant. So it means on the odd years we've got a very good chance of 2 wins, but nothing else. And in the even years we've got a kind of half chance at 4 wins.
4. Yeah.
So, so that's why it's the faint hope that's killing me at the moment. So yeah,
Yeah.
but
True.
that's the story I'm telling myself at the moment, anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no games have been played yet, so everything is still a possibility. Can we go back and have a look at the overall odds or predictions for all the teams? I seem to remember you guys had Italy just ever so slightly above Wales. Hey.
yeah. Italy's slightly above Wales. Yeah, I mean, I think we had Italy as favourites to take fifth last year as well. Just a mark of how far Wales have gone, basically, in the last couple of
Mm.
years. So yeah, I mean, if you go down to the rankings, we do have Wales ranked fairly considerably below Italy. That's a 7 point difference. That's quite a lot. If you look at the World Rugby rankings, I think, not quite as much, but yeah, not surprising, basically, especially since I believe Italy have Wales at home. Is that right? At the end?
Yeah, I
Oh
think
no,
it's the final
no, they
week.
don't.
Those 2 teams are
Final
playing each
weekend
other,
is
but
in
yeah, Wales
Cardiff.
are at
My
home.
mistake.
Mm.
My mistakes in Cardiff, but Italy are favourites for that. And I
By a
think the
point.
Italians have got, again, Scotland at home, probably more chance of winning that one, basically, over Wales, and yeah, more chance in a few other games, basically. So yeah,
Mm.
Italy marginal favourites to avoid the bottom, but still a 1 in 3 chance. So still a chance for Wales, but yeah, sadly for Wales, they are, a long way off where they used to be.
Yes, They do have that. I mean, they're looking at the Super Saturday, the final week's fixtures. The fact that Wales and Italy are playing each other in that final weekend, that does, I guess it adds a little bit of spice for both teams, because if they have lost every game up until that point, it at least gives them something to play for in that final round.
Massively, massively. I mean, the most likely sort of situation coming into that weekend is that, yeah, Wales and Italy are both on no wins, basically, subject to a few bonus points. Yeah, it will come down to who wins that game. And there's a good chance that France, England, and Ireland have all won or lost one, basically.
Yeah.
So, you kind of hope that either France, probably hope that England's, say, even this as a Scotsman, but you hope that England have won all their games. So France have to beat them. Ireland have obviously then lost to England, beat Scotland, and then it kind of comes down to 4 wins, and you've got that kind of situation of like, how many bonus points, trying to score tries, trying to get all this sort of stuff. So yeah, that wouldn't be an unlikely situation to be in.
Yeah, well, I think there's been a few weeks where in the Six Nations where a game against you guys has been like a deciding fixture. Was it last year with France? Did they play you guys in the final round and they needed to beat you or something like that? Just seems to be you guys are always potentially the spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, that's not an unusual position to be in, I suppose, given the way the other teams fall. Everybody will have played each other before, and then trying to get that last win against Scotland in the final weekend. Hopefully, obviously, we're also in the mix at the final weekend.
That would be great. I would love to see it. Can you imagine 4 teams in the mix in the final week? That'd be cracking. Even if it does mean you guys have to go to Dublin and get a win, which is like, given your record against them, the unlikeliest of unlikely. And I don't really quite buy into the whole Ireland have declined to the level some people are saying they are. Like, I still think, I mean, you've got them as favourites.
Yeah, Ireland's still a very good team. I mean, I think they definitely have declined a little bit. The results and the rankings would show that. Not quite as they were a couple of years ago, but I mean, they nearly beat South Africa in the autumn with that farce of a game when they were down to 12 men at one stage. And regardless of what you want to talk about in terms of scrums or deserved red cards or whatever, I don't want to anger either side in this, but they still were right in there at the end. Could have, should have won it. They had the ball at the end, trying to score a try. They were right in there. So to even be that close to winning against South Africa with that many red and yellow cards, whatever they were, is impressive. So probably slightly more variable than they used to be. They put in a pretty poor performance against New Zealand the week before, but yeah, they've probably still got the top level if they want to go for it.
It's a hard one in years following or during a Lions campaign. It's so disruptive, and Ireland in particular with Andy Farrell off with the Lions, more disruptive than usual. Like I remember Welsh fans when I first started this channel years ago used to kind of bemoan the fact that Gatland being off with the Lions and all the Welsh guys off with the Lions was very disruptive for their Six Nations campaigns and end of year campaigns and whatnot. So we may have been seeing a little bit of that last year with the Irish.
Yeah. 100%. It's hard to say. I mean, it would have been a big year basically, and yeah, guys have played a lot of fixtures. Leinster, those guys have played a lot of fixtures basically, so they'll be tired. Maybe that's part of it. The thing is, they probably haven't had much rest since the autumn. They've been straight on it again. But yeah, it's tricky. I mean, I think people are sleeping on Ireland a little bit. There's definitely, I mean, if we look at if we nip to the odds very quickly.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what are the bookies saying? Is there an obvious favourite with them? Is it France with the fact they're hosting Ireland?
Everybody's on France basically, and this has moved quite significantly in the last couple of weeks. I mean, everybody's piled onto France in the last couple of weeks and have, definitely come off Ireland. Probably just a reflection of, there wouldn't be a huge amount of money down a month or so ago. People are starting to place their bets basically in a few weeks leading up, so maybe it's sort of moving that rather than sort of any feeling around the squad announcements and things like that. But it's pretty heavy on France, and I think that at this stage is because people haven't really looked at the fixtures properly. They just sort of go on their gut on who do I think is the best team.
Yeah.
And I mean, if that's purely the metric we're going on here, I would kind of agree with it. I think France probably are the best team, but based on the way the fixtures line up, yeah, I don't think. I mean, odds of 8.5, 8.2 for Ireland to win the Six Nations when they've won it however many times in the last few years is not to be sniffed at, basically. And yeah, England's probably about right. I think people are a bit heavy on France there. 60% chance to win the Six Nations is quite high. But they do have England and Ireland at home, so it's probably not too far away from.
I think that's probably a big part of it. I mean, especially if people are just looking at the first round fixtures, you'd think, oh, France will beat Ireland at home, which is by no means guaranteed, but it'd be the gut feeling. And then you'd assume, oh, if they beat Ireland, they'll beat everyone else. Maybe.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, but that's what's great about the Six Nations is as soon as you start getting
It never pans out that way. It never pans out that way. Like last year when France lost that shock game to England, which was again, oh no, France will beat England. You know, Borthwick's England are not that good. This is before England had their meteoric rise. It seemed like France were done and dusted, and then they went to Dublin and got it done. So there's always some kind of twist or turn somewhere.
No, exactly. That's the wonderful thing about it. So, you know, we can have all these discussions, put all these predictions out, and then the great thing is that after week one, it's all completely irrelevant. So yeah, but yeah, it's yeah. I think people are sleeping on Ireland a little bit. I wouldn't rule them out at this stage, but yeah, but the people are pretty confident. I mean, and then look at that, 40% chance of a French Grand Slam. That's pretty high. Generally, we see about. I think it's usually maybe slightly under 50%. I'm not exactly sure the stats now. It's slightly under 50% of the Six Nations have ended up in a Grand Slam. So to say, you know, I mean, I know there's a bit of bookies all around here, but, you know, 40, 60, nearly 70% chance of there being a Grand Slam based on those percentages, that's pretty high in a year where 3 teams are very good and then Scotland are, you know, thereabouts, but, you know, could ruin somebody's day, basically. It's pretty high. Let's say I've only got a 40% chance of a Grand Slam this year. So yeah, unlikely, I would say, but stranger things have happened. So
yeah, it is such a hard one to predict. Like I can see you guys losing to Italy in the first round and seeming like it's going to be an absolute calamity, and then, you know, rolling somebody, going down. I don't know. I can see it going like Dublin and getting the first win in God knows how many years against the Irish or something like that. I don't know.
It would be a very Scottish thing to do. I mean, the thing about Scotland is they say they just sort of win the irrelevant fixtures that don't really mean anything. And it would be very Scotland to do that, you know, to sort of like, okay, well, if we want to do a challenge, then we need to win the games that, you know, we probably should win and then put a good performance in. But it's exactly what we did 2 years ago when we had we'd beaten Wales, we'd beaten England at home. We should have beaten France. We did beat France.
That try at the death. I remember that one. That one was brutal.
Yeah.
You were livid.
Yeah, I was absolutely livid, but still am. I still am. But because of the other way that I don't think anybody was on the Grand Slam that year because everybody had lost already as well. It meant that if we beat Italy, we would have had a very good chance of second. And we'd have gone to Dublin. We had 3 wins. Going to Dublin, very unlikely. But you know, if we beat Ireland in Dublin, we would have potentially won the Six Nations, basically. But you know, if we didn't win in Dublin, very good chance of second place. But couldn't even beat Italy, and that was a classic game.
So it was all irrelevant anyway.
17-0 up, basically, and we still lost it. And yeah, and it was like, oh well. You know, if you can't win the games that you should win, then you don't deserve to be in consideration.
Be in the conversation, Yeah.
That's the problem. So yeah, need to be a bit more consistent, basically. So yeah, it would be very Scottish to lose to Italy and then go away and ruin Ireland's day in Dublin or something like that, and get our first win against Ireland in 25 years or something, and it doesn't matter.
It's such a ridiculous record. If people want to check out the stats and whatnot for themselves, where should they be heading?
Head to sportsforecast.com. You can see all the different areas around here, all the different championships that are on. We cover all the major ones, all the big ones, URC, Champions Cup stuff. Super Rugby starting soon.
Super Rugby's getting underway very soon. Similar time frame to
13th,
the old Six
13th,
Nations.
13th of February. What's going on here? Blues still in it at this stage as well.
Okay.
Still in it. Still in it.
Above all the Aussie teams, I see.
Well, that's probably not unfair, but yeah. So yeah, head to Rugby Forecast. You can see it all. Made a few changes this year. We've got a chat bot like everything else nowadays. You can speak to the algorithm. You can ask your questions. It is still it's just I say it's in beta. It's test.
Okay.
It's basically the way I would describe it. I think from you can see some of the questions, some of the stuff that people are asking it. Basically, they seem to think it's like an actual person. Admittedly, ChatGPT and things are great, and they do speak like real people, but it's basically just it's a very sophisticated language model sitting on top of a spreadsheet. It's not going to actually be able to do any real analysis for you.
Right.
So, you can ask it some questions, some fun questions. You can say, what are the last 5 between, Scotland and England or something like that, and it should be able to give you an answer. I'll give it a bit of time, but it should be able to do things like that. But it's not going to be able. I've seen people feeding it odds from American football matches and trying to get it to predict the Super Bowl and for it and stuff like that, just because they think it's our sports analysis software. So it's okay.
Well, I suppose you could get ChatGPT to try that stuff as well if you really wanted to.
Yeah, that would be the place I'd go for that. Basically, this is not ChatGPT. Basically, it's as I say, it's a language model sitting on top of an Excel file. Basically, maybe I should have warmed it up first. Here we are. It takes a few minutes to answer the first question. Basically, once it gets going, it speeds up a little bit.
It's fine. Oh yeah. That's just like me when I get out of bed in the morning, to be fair.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, pretty good. Quite pleased with that. And then yeah, Six Nations. I'll move that to the top in next week once it's got full prominence. But yeah, see everything around there.
Oh man, exciting times! Exciting times. We'll see how things go. If things are in the balance, I guess after 3 rounds or so, maybe we can catch up and see how the odds have changed and how everything you have just said is utterly irrelevant.
Yeah, well, I'll have a new set of analysis, and that will all still be correct at that point of time. And remember, I'm pretty much at this stage predicting every team to win, so I'm going to always caveat with that at the end.
No. The fact that France has got a little bit of an extra dark green means you're 100% saying France are going to get a Grand Slam. I'm pretty sure that's what that means.
That's what that means. France can get a Grand Slam, but I'm to win the title. So yeah.
Yeah, both of those things.
You heard it here first.
All right, Graeme. As always, good to catch up with you, my friend.
Nice one. Enjoy. All right. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, everybody. Bye.